guys, Tap here. Hope you're all keeping well. Super excited today to be going out in the BMW M2 competition. This one owned by Mr. H Cars. He's very kindly offered it up for this shoot. I have to say it's one of my favorite cars on the road right now, and there's some very good reasons for that. In this video, we're going to dig into those and find out just why I think that. But first up, a quick intro from the man himself, Mr. H Cars.
Hello.
How you doing?
Yeah, good. Yeah, brilliant.
Excellent. So you are known as Mr. H Cars stroke Will.
Yes. Yeah. I've we've done a video on my channel.
We
before.
have indeed. Yeah.
So
sure.
my viewers will know who you are.
And vice versa.
Hello.
I think so. He's the original hooligan. Owns this car because he absolutely loves it. We're going to hear a lot from him about why. I do think they're great cars. See a lot of them on the roads.
They're going to start calling me Mr. M2 soon.
I think you're already known as Mr. M2 on the YouTubes. So yeah,
I'm going to be screwed when this car goes.
Well, no, you won't, because then you can be known as Mr. R8. He is going to buy an R8 soon, aren't you?
Maybe.
I hope so, because he does love a mid-engine car. But anyway, let's get out for a little ride in this thing.
Cool.
Excellent. And I'll use the post function to sync it. So here we are in the M2 with, sorry, it's M2C. I've got to be very specific, right? A bit better than your average M2.
Yeah, we're a bit more special.
A bit more special.
Yeah, this is an actual M2, not an M235i. I've just insulted every OG M2 owner who follows me. I'm sorry. Go on, continue.
No, I was just saying, so I guess a great place to start, right? The difference between the M2 and the M2C, and you've probably spoken about it at length on your channel, I know, but just for the benefit of those who might not know.
M2 comp. So basically the OG M2, all the EU regulations came in with the OPF filter, and the OG M2 no longer met those regulations. So they thought it'd be a great chance to bring the M2 competition out, stick the M3, M4 engine in this,
right?
It meets the regulations, and get that bump a load more power, better handling, cooler engine, got a carbon fiber strut brace at the front. Okay. But change the styling a little bit, but other than that, it sounds worse and it's a bit quicker.
It's a bit quicker, right. Yeah. So in terms of what they've done to the engine in this version versus what you'd get if you had an M3 or an M4, how is that different, do you know?
So, so the funny thing is, this is the M2, so the smallest M car that you can buy, but for some reason it's only like 50 kg lighter than an M3, M4. You'd think they would have done a better job. Yeah. I think it's probably because the engine is so heavy. It's only about 20 horsepower less than the M3, M4, which they've obviously done that in maybe a Cayman 911 sense, where they probably don't want the M2 to be more powerful. But stick a stage 1 tune on this, you can get about 540 brake.
Nice.
Sorted. Happy days.
Yeah, that is pretty good. I'm a huge fan of this car, I have to say. I love the M2. Always, the first time I saw this car on the road, I was like, wow, the look of it, the stance, the proportions. I just think they've got everything right. And I'd have one of these any day over an M4, without a shadow of doubt. I think they just look great. And they're very tunable and they're very common. And I think one of the key reasons they are so common is, A, they're brilliant, great fun to drive, absolute hooligan tool. In fact, do we need to hide your identity in this? Well,
no, just blur my face later.
Okay, well,
there won't be any
ping. There you go.
Bring you back.
No. Let's keep you like this. Yeah, left here. It's safer, I think, for the law enforcement agencies. But anyway, all right, let's bring you back. So yeah, I mean, I'm just a huge fan of the M2, right? So in terms of the reason one of the reasons they're so ubiquitous, if I can use that word, is the price point of these and what you have to pay every month to get in one. So would you mind talking a little bit? Nice spot there. Would you mind talking a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I picked this up. This is a year old when I got this, so brand new, their 55k list. Right. They come with 2 packs, M2 Plus pack and Comfort pack. Yeah. And if you spec those 2, you've basically got everything on there. There's not really much you can change on an M2. The seats are exactly the same. You've just got the choice between blue and orange stitching, but it's all black. So the 55k list. I picked this up a year old and it was 39, 38 when I got it.
Wow.
Put $4,500 deposit down and I'm paying $430 a month.
So $430 a month to get in a car like this.
Yeah, of this prestige.
And if you look at the comparison between this and the C63S, for example, I would say speed-wise, there really isn't that much in it.
Probably not, no. And this is massively down to the balloon and the depreciation, right?
Yeah.
These hold value really well. I've got a 4-year PCP, so by the end of it, it's going to be around about 25k.
Yeah.
But if you look at what a C63S is worth, pretty much 18.
Yeah, well, you're paying just over $400 a month for this.
Yes, yep.
I was paying just over $800 a month for my C63S for not that much more performance, but I would say the sound of that car is probably worth the extra £400 a month.
How much will they list? C63?
Just under 80 mine was, I think.
So 20 grand.
So yeah, you see a lot of these cars.
The used market for these is massively picked up. The OGs, so the non-comps and the pre-LCIs are coming into. You can pick one up for like 25k.
So
now.
what's a pre?
So the
LCI.
LCI is life cycle impulse. So they basically did a facelift on the OG.
Okay.
Around about. Sorry.
You hooligan! I mean, I can't believe you drive like that.
Lost a bit of traction there.
Yeah. So we'll get onto the handling and the fun element of this car in a bit because it's great and really, really good fun to be in.
Back to LCI. So they did a facelift in 2018, and so they changed a load of the dials. It was pretty much the rest of it was the same.
Yeah.
And so you can pick up a pre-facelift one for like 25 grand now, which is a good amount of car for the price of what? A little bit more than a brand new Fiesta.
Right.
So there's lots of people who are picking up M2s now, and I think it's great. It's great to see M2s on the road, more of them.
Yeah, fantastic. So, what's your favourite thing about this car? You've probably got quite a few things you like about it, but if you had to choose one above all the others,
I'd
what would that
say.
be? Is it the fact that it makes you an official hooligan?
No, just remember sensible driving.
You're well behaved at all points.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, it's probably not specifically the car, but the colour.
You like the
I
colour?
love everything about the colour, yeah.
It is great. It's a classic BMW colour, this, isn't it?
When it's clean and it's sunny.
So you're saying for this shoot you've not actually cleaned it?
No, well it snowed
Is
the other day.
that how much you care?
It was clean for this video, I apologise. It snowed, and I was out on a hoon.
What's a hoon?
A hoon is where you drive very fast, but sticking to the speed limit.
So how can you drive very fast if you're in a 30 wheel?
You drop all the way down to about 10.
Okay.
And floor it.
Right.
Up to the speed limit.
Up to the speed
Yeah,
limit.
yeah.
Right. And enjoy that
Yeah.
20 mile an hour delta going from 10 to 20. That's nice.
There we go.
I've never done that. I only ever stick to the speed limit or just below that.
It's the BMW mindset, see?
It is the BMW mindset.
Yeah.
And your indicators work in this car.
Yes, yeah.
And they're used regularly?
Yeah, we're filming, so I'm trying to be sensible.
Right, absolutely. But otherwise you turn them off.
Normally I just, I code it out.
Have them removed,
It's gone,
right? Yeah, okay, so they can't be used. The infotainment system, I'm looking at that now, it's leagues apart from the McLaren. Not going to lie.
It's good, yeah, you can put CarPlay on it.
Okay.
It's a £230 additional extra, which I can just buy through the store. I can't be bothered, I've just bought a little £7 phone holder and I've just put my phone in there and I use CarPlay on that.
Yeah, and I love the dials on this. It looks like they're digital, but they're not.
They're analog, but they light up. But yeah, this is part of the facelift that you get. So if I've got a pre-facelift, you've got the just analog actual dials.
Okay. So just going to do a quick walk around of the car. The obligatory walk around, have a look at some of the features and some of the cool bits that I think look great, and let's get Mr. H's opinion on this as well. So I think starting with the front end. Right, for me, the front end is aggressive. You've got that double kind of kidney grille, right? The classic, you know it's a BMW.
Only the comp have this.
Yeah.
OG, it's two separate kidney grills.
Right, okay, yeah. And they've gone even more crazy on the new M4 grille, right? What do you think?
Sorry, yeah. Start
That's
again.
what you meant, yeah.
Comp has two separate ones. Comp has the connected grille. The OG has two separate ones. Comp's got these things here, which I actually don't think they do anything. And then you've got shorter thingies, whatever these are, on the OG. They're a bit more square, which I kind of think looks a bit cooler, I think.
Yeah.
But it makes it look more angular and aggressive on the comp, so
yeah,
that's how you tell the difference between the two.
What do you think of the new, while we're on it, what do you think of the new M4 grille?
I actually really like it. I still haven't seen it in person, but I've seen an M440i, which has got the big grille. I actually like the look of it on Instagram and photos. Well, I'll wait for when I see it in person though. I'll give you my real judge.
Right, quick look at the engine bay. Let's talk engine numbers on this while we're here, right? So what are we looking at in terms of the brake horses?
410 bhp.
410 bhp. 550
Newton meters of torque. Only 50 more than the 140i. But the 140 had 340 brake horsepower.
Nice.
So a good chunk.
Yeah, the classic 6-pot, right? So you can. It's probably got an unmistakable sound, I'd say, when you start it up.
Twin turbo.
Yeah.
Well, we need to do some revs in a bit.
Yeah, we'll do that. See what it
Carbon
sounds
strut
like.
brace. I love this. I'd like to show this off
Yeah,
to my
that is
friends.
very nice. And that's standard.
Yes. Yep.
Very nice indeed, yeah.
Twin turbo.
You said that already. Do you like the fact it's got twin turbos?
Yes, yeah. Make sure people know two is better than one.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. And they're sequential? Or are they parallel?
No idea.
I've stumped you there, haven't I?
Yeah,
A bit of research for tonight.
That's further than my knowledge.
Cool, so coming around to the side, let's get the all-important wheels in here. Have a good look at those.
These are the silver ones. You can spec silver or grey. It's just lacquer that's on it differently. I wanted the silver because I think it pops more with the blue.
Yep.
These are the stock 788M, and then I've put these carbon fibre little mud flap thingies on here to stop all the crap that gets kicked up along against the side.
So definitely not an expensive mod there, right?
100 quid for the front and the back.
Job done, yeah. And of course you've got a side badge. Always lovely to see those.
Again, M wing mirrors only comes on the comp. On the OG they were just standard mirrors, which
very nice.
a lot of OG owners were not happy about. And
of course calipers blue to match the car.
Yep.
I think it looks great. Colour really pops out, doesn't it?
Yep.
And I see here, Will, I don't want to zoom in too much on this, but I see a little mark there.
Well,
is it focusing? No, go on, focus. Yes, it is now.
Got some more here. Don't show them. Don't.
So what's happened here, Will?
Basically, there was a metal fence lying on the ground, and I was driving it at night. I was sat in a car park, and I drove forwards, and I hit the fence at the front, spun round, and it dragged itself along here. The car's really dirty. I'm going to get Will from Flawless Detailing to give it a wash next week, and then he's going to do a stage 1 polish, and it should, fingers crossed, get it out. We should be okay. When I run my nail across it, it doesn't get caught, so I should be okay.
How long did it take you to get over the shame and the hurt?
I did a whole Instagram story on it, so I was pretty upset, but I was over it.
If I ever ding a car or scrape an alloy, it takes me about a good 2 weeks to get over it, I think.
You need to work on that. That's fine. It's a car for fun. It's a toy.
Yep.
Anything's replaceable. New tips.
Right, rear ends. New tips, yeah.
Yep, I installed these. They don't add any sound. What I felt like the stock tips made the car feel a bit like it was going in on itself at the bottom.
Right.
These make it a bit more aggressive, I think, at the bottom.
And then
don't crouch too low, because you'll see the ugly back.
Yeah, well, we're going to have to, because we spoke about that in the car, right?
Yep.
And for me, this is the problematic bit.
Yep.
So let's get a good shot of this and what we're talking about.
If you're driving...
So yeah, there you can see it dangling down, that kind of udder thing, right?
Yep.
That kind of just really...
Cow's udder.
Yeah, I don't think it does the car much justice, right?
Nope.
So what are you going to do with that? You're going to get it...
Spray it black.
Yeah.
The shadow of the car will hide, will make it look like it's blended in.
Yeah.
Or it's part of the car, so...
Very nice, but just the angle of it, the poise, it's nice and wide, yep.
Yep, big bum.
You love a big bum, don't
Yes.
you? Yep.
Wider track.
Yeah, very nice bit of kit. Very nice indeed, sir. Isn't it? So, have you ever had anything go wrong in this car?
So a common issue on the M2s is the rear light failure.
Rear light failure?
Yeah, what will happen is if you indicate, this is a real thing, when you indicate...
You don't need the indicators.
But sometimes I do, and when I do, it flashes like mad.
Right.
Turn the car off and back on, it'll be fine, but it's a common issue. So the car's under warranty, book it in with BMW, they replace the unit, put a brand new one in,
right.
and we're good to go.
And it's all fixed. Is it LEDs?
The LEDs.
LEDs, yeah. Okay,
so that'd
cool.
be why. But with the S55 engine, you've got the famous crank hub failure.
Right, what happens there? That sounds quite serious.
Basically, the crank hub slips with one of the discs.
So timing's gone.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
And that's serious.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can get a better crank hub put in at like places like Lichfield or whatever.
Yep.
They're like 3K, $2,500.
That's a lot of money, isn't it?
Pretty expensive.
Because the work that's involved, right?
Exactly.
To get it.
Yeah. I'd be more concerned if I tuned it, and I'd probably want to get that done. But it's stock at the moment.
Yeah.
Probably going to leave it stock. So I'm probably not going to risk it.
Yeah. So you're obviously sort of knee deep in YouTube yourself. Channel's doing really well, which is great. Definitely taking some pointers off you here, no doubt about it. But there's a lot of active chat about the BMW and the M2 specifically on your channel. So what kind of things do people talk about? If you look at the hate vector and the love vector, what kind of things do people love and what kind of things are they hating?
A lot of Audi hate.
A lot of Audi hate?
Yeah, I've got a good friend called Will.
Yeah.
We filmed with his Audi TTRS.
Yeah.
A lot of oversteer versus understeer conversations.
So what, Audi's understeering and M2's oversteering?
Yes,
or?
yeah. More fun, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Audis are boring. No, they're great cars. But
not all of them are great cars.
No, not
Some
all
are
of them.
boring.
An R8.
I've definitely been in an Audi that is very boring. 1.4
1.4.
A3.
Yeah, pretty dull.
Yeah.
You might as well buy a Seat.
Absolutely, for
If you've got a Seat.
half the price. But I mean, it's functional, right? It will definitely get you from point A to point B, and that's the purpose of a car. Depends if that's all you need. Don't go crazy. So the love vectors for the M2 as well, the BMW specifically, not just the oversteer. They're about more than that, right? Is there a certain kind of cachet, a kind of feeling that you get from owning a BMW? I remember when I first got my first ever BMW. It was a 330 diesel coupe, 04 plate. And I loved it. I definitely got that BMW feeling when I picked the car up.
Did you have an M3 as well?
I did after that, yeah. But the first BMW I ever owned was this 330
Nice.
diesel car, so 6-pot oil burner. So refined though, so smooth. It was built like a tank, the E46, and I still love those cars. I think the build quality of that, same league as the Merc from that era, right? The Merc that I've got now, just so well put together. How's the build quality been on this BMW?
Fantastic.
Yeah. It feels solid.
A lot of people hate the interior of this car. It looks outdated.
Yep.
It probably looks like your old BMW used to have.
I don't think it's too bad. I mean, it's you can tell it's a BMW looking at it. And right now, I'm definitely cutting to some B-roll, looking at the dials and the heating.
This generation versus the Mercedes of the same era. Mercedes was and Audi were miles ahead.
Yeah.
So a lot of people hate the interior, but the quality is perfect. It's great.
Yeah. It is really nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you've got that kind of pseudo-carbon dash look on the
Exposed carbon.
exposed carbon. It's called.
Yeah.
Wow.
It means it's really hard to find aftermarket options of exposed carbon because all
Right.
the aftermarket options are from China, obviously, and it's
Okay.
all gloss carbon, so it doesn't
Right.
match. So I just haven't bothered with aftermarket options.
I've got to say, it's very comfortable to sit in, and it kind of cruises down the motorway very nicely. Obviously, what's that you're doing now? 140 miles an hour?
They're 60.
160,
Right,
yeah.
yeah.
160, you wouldn't even notice that
There's
you're doing
a little bit
160.
of drone, I would say.
To be fair, if you're doing 160, these cars must be going really fast. Like that van that just went past.
It's going quite quickly. I could take it.
But yeah, I going back to the way the M2 looks, the stance of it on the road, it just kind of looks brutish. It kind of casts my eye back to the rally cars of the day as well a little bit. It's got a bit of that in it. So like the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 6s, that kind of brutal old skyline. It's quite boxy, isn't it? But aggressive boxy.
Yeah. Short wheelbase.
Yeah, you see that. I love the look of the Mustang as well. I think that's just a brutal looking car. I love the challenges as well and charges you get in America right now. But for me, it just looks great, and I think it looks much better than the M4. I'm just saying that, it's just personal preference. I'm sure there's plenty of people with their own opinion, no doubt.
M4 was the car that I wanted out of all the M cars years and years ago, but as I got older and my taste kind of developed, I'm more of an M3 guy now between the two.
Really,
just because it's boxier and squarer.
Yeah.
But obviously M2 is my favourite.
And I do like a small car with a lot of power. I like packing a lot of power into a small footprint that you definitely get with this, right? And let's talk about mods, because obviously these things are very heavily modded. I've seen these things driving about near me that have clearly had pretty much the exhaust ripped out of them, and they're loud. They've got loads of overrun, loads of crackles and pops. They're crazy. So what's next on your list for mods for this? Because you've still got that rear exhaust other thing that kind of hangs down. That's the only bit I don't like about the car, and I think a lot of people are in the same boat there. It just kind of hangs down and looks a bit Heath Robinson.
It was clearly an afterthought, a last-minute thing. Probably because they were rushing this car to get it out in time with the regulations and stuff. Yeah. So they didn't properly develop an exhaust that fits properly under the car.
Is that a fact? Or just conjecture?
It's just what everyone has said. I don't know whether it's true or not. Probably is true, I don't know. It seems to make sense, because underneath the car there is loads of space above that back box, so they obviously, it's a design flaw, and something's gone wrong there.
Something's gone wrong?
Something's gone wrong in the design department.
Okay.
You can go down a massive rabbit hole with these cars. You can spend a ton of money. I've kind of just about scraped in, so I'm trying to do it as cheap as possible.
Yeah.
Carbon is kind of on the list. I'm going to put some carbon on at some point.
So where? What? Just sellotape to the roof?
Yeah, cheap it out from China and AliExpress. I'll do a bootlit, a diffuser, probably mirror caps. Won't bother with a splitter. I kind of want to lower it, maybe put on lowering springs or coilovers. That's quite expensive.
Yeah. Okay. So the thing is, how much you want to do to a car that you're not going to keep?
Exactly.
Right? If you've got this as part of your collection, and it's going to sit in your garage forever, and you own it, you're going to want to invest in it. But I always struggle doing too much to a car that you know deep down inside it's going to go.
And there's no.
I think this warrants some more conversation, is simply the value for money in this car. I know we've spoken about it and what he's paying, but I think we need to kind of hone in on this again, just particularly how it stacks up against other cars in this league. So just to recap, $4,000 down, just over 400 a month, right?
Yep.
Which is crazy good value, I think, for this car.
For a 410 bhp car, 64.2 seconds.
Great drive, but BMW, a lot of cachet. And you looked at other cars, right, when you were weighing this up, and how did it compare to other cars? What other cars were you
So
looking
I
at?
was A35 was on my list, because I had a 140. Naturally, I thought I'd look at the same area. A35 had just come out, $3,000 down, 700 a month.
Yep.
Yeah, nah.
That's an extra 300 a month, isn't it?
Yeah, the reason I went to BMW and I asked for quotes on the M2, and at the time, this was before it was the end of the sale of the M2. So before they had the crazy deals on them, it was £700 a month, $3,000 down.
Yeah.
And he said to me, I can do you a 20 grand discount on an M4 competition for £700 a month, $3,000 down. So he was trying to flog me an M4, and he said it's a 70 grand car and you could be paying the same as that or get an M2. And I said, no, I still kind of want an M2. And then 6 months later, they had the deals and I got this instead for 400. So it's really all about buying the car at the right time, I think, when there's deals.
So here's the thing. So why do you think this car was so cheap? Why were there so many good offers on it? I've got an opinion. What's yours?
I think for balloon payment,
right.
I think these hold better value. I think at what point of the life cycle the car is. If you buy a car when it's brand new and it's just come out, there's no deals on them.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can be
and I think that BMW trying to buy market share, right? I think when I had my C63S and there was loads of great deals on at the time there, Merc had some very competitive finance offers on because they were trying to buy the market. And then you saw that lag. You saw that lots of Mercs started to appear on the road of all shapes and sizes because they're really pushing hard. And I think you've certainly seen the case with the M2, right? There's now a shed load on the road. It's probably the most often cited car in this league.
There's another one here on the other side of the road.
Exactly. You see many when you're out and about, right?
In a wave.
With a bike on top. Oh, isn't that sweet?
He waved back.
He waved back. Isn't that lovely? Bit of M2 love there. Beautiful. So that is it for this video. A right good dive into this great car. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, the usual boring stuff that keeps the channel going, keeps us inspired to make more. Massive thanks to Will, Mr. H Cars, for this. Be sure to check out his channel, it's very good, especially if you like the M2. He goes into a lot of detail there. Thank you very much, Will. Appreciate it.
For having me on the channel.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Really good shoot.
I'll see you soon.
Take care, mate. Cool.